Qt Quick is the name for a set of technologies. It includes several parts. We have the quick markup language, a declarative language, often called QML. We have our scripting engine, JavaScript. We have a QML runtime that is inside of Qt. We have a C++ API to integrate with Qt applications. We also have support in many of the tools that are provided by Qt. Qt Creator, for example, has support in the form of code highlighting, a visual designer, debugging, and profiling. Qt Quick allows us to create fluid and intuitive user interfaces quickly. It's design-oriented and easy for designers to learn. This enables designers and developers to work in parallel on the same set of source files. When we have our designers and developers working together on the same set of source files, our team is able to develop the application in such a way that our design team is able to focus on creating the UI elements, and our developers are able to create the back-end elements. This leads to a situation where, in many cases, the UI is ready and tested before the back-end driving objects are completed. QML, or the quick markup language, is a declarative language that is used to create user interfaces and components for them. If you're not familiar with declarative languages, these are ones where we tell the program what it should do, not how it should do it. And if you've never used a declarative language before, this can take a little bit of getting used to alone. The syntax for QML is similar to CSS or JSON, where we declare an object and then bind values to properties. Each QML source file is going to consist of imports and then a single root item. Before we can use any of the QML types, we have to import the Qt Quick module. The basic syntax for an import statement is going to be import, module name, version number. Here, we're importing version number 2.12 of the Qt Quick module. This allows us to use the rectangle object. So we create the rectangle object, and inside of the curly brackets for it, we bind all of our properties, either one per line or multiple separated by semicolons. The code here would create a light blue rectangle with a size of 400 by 400. Now, our source files in QML are saved with a QML extension, and they usually begin with an uppercase letter so they can be instantiated by other QML files. So if we wanted to save this bit for reuse, we could save it as myrectangle.qml with the capital M, and we can have it be loaded later by a different QML file. This is the file structure of a QML file. First, we have our import statements, and then this is followed by the creation of our root item. Inside of our root item, we can set any existing properties, create new properties, signals, functions, states, transitions, child items in any order we want. Our child items can also have their own custom properties, signals, functions, states, transitions, and children. If we look at the third line where it says item here, we'll notice it begins with a capital letter. This is because we are creating a QML item of the item type. In this snippet, we create one other type, which is the rectangle. You'll notice that also starts with a capital letter, and all of our properties start with lowercase letters. So when we create any custom properties or signals, their names must also begin with lowercase letters. QML files are organized into trees. They have one single root item. This root item can have any number of children and be of any type. So keep this in mind when you design your UI or component. Make sure you pick a root item that makes sense for what you're trying to do. For example, if we wanted to create this item on the right here, we could make it so that the background, the image, and the text are siblings of each other, but it's much more intuitive if we create it where the background is the parent of the image and the text. Since QML children are placed relative to their parents, it makes it really, really easy for us to place this text and this image. And the other nice thing about this is once we've created the item, if we decide to move it later, we only have to worry about the position of the main item. We don't have to position the text in the image, which is something we would have had to do if we created all three parts as siblings of one another. Now we have a wide variety of types available for QML. We have objects like states and transitions. They don't have any visual representation. And we also have objects like rectangles and text that have a visual component. Our basic types are provided by the Qt Quick module. Now, these types are usually used to create more complex or specialized types, but they're not the only types that we're able to import. We can also import other modules. For example, there's a Qt Quick.window module, which provides us with a window type. There's also pre-made controls in the Qt Quick module. Every QML object has properties. These are things like width, height, X, Y. Each property has its own type and a default value. Our property values can be accessed by using the property name, and we can change them by providing a new value of the correct type. And this can be done either with a simple binding or the result of a function. There are many uses to properties. Some include identification and all the way up to changing the appearance or behavior of the object. Properties are strictly typed, and we have to use known types to QML. Here we can see some of the types that are known to QML. And later on in the series, we're going to talk about how we can register our own types so we can use even more types.